Hi everyone, and it's Matt here once again for another installment in my retro gaming series, and today it is Starfox 2. Now, this is a really special game to me because it is the game that never was. In 1996, Nintendo had planned to launch a follow-up to their hugely popular rail shooter Starfox on the Super Nintendo, and it's the first game of its kind to use the Super Effects chip, which would enable a cartridge game to display state-of-the-art, again for its time, polygon-based graphics, something which was not unheard of for cartridge-based consoles, but not done this well before. Another cool thing about Starfox as well was that it was developed by Argonaut Games, right down to the hardware that powered it, the Super Effects chip. And they were based in Cambridge, which is where I'm from. So I had no idea that one of my favourite games of all time was actually developed just down the road from where I live. And that was all going on when I was growing up, which is pretty amazing. So what happened to Starfox 2? So Shigeru Miyamoto, who was running the show, as far as Starfox goes, decided that with the Nintendo 64 on the horizon for launch very soon to compete with the PlayStation and the Sega Saturn, that Starfox 2 would seem pretty archaic in comparison to what the Nintendo 64 would be capable of. So they shelved it. They basically finished the game and got into a late beta stage with basically all the bells and whistles complete. Just lacking a bit of polish. And yes, they decided, you know what, let's not release it. And that's how it was for a very long time. Now, it didn't stay that way. So, when they first showed off Starfox 2, it really captured people's attention. There's even reports that a member of the press conference tried to steal one of the cartridges from the show where it was being demonstrated. Of course, he didn't get away with it. But the mystique of this game continued well past the 90s because people knew that it had been completed. We could see in the magazines and the screenshots that the game was basically finished, so it had to be out there. And then in 2002, a beta version of the game's source code came out of the blue, and it was actually released by one of the developers. And of course, very clever people were able to reverse engineer the source code and create a working ROM of Starfox 2, which could be played on emulators. So, for a long time, that was the only way you could enjoy this game. Of course, many people can flash even ROM hacks onto a OEM cartridge or onto a purpose-built cartridge, such as an EverDrive. So it was possible to play Starfox 2 on the original hardware. However, in 2017, Nintendo went one step further, and they actually released the game, for real, on the SNES Mini Classic, to be exact. So on the SNES Mini Classic, Starfox 2 was an unlockable game, and it could be unlocked if you beat the first stage of Starfox, well, I say Starfox 1, of the original Starfox. So beating Corneria would unlock Starfox 2, which is basically your first 5 minutes playing the game. But it was the finished version, so it was polished and completed, and in the form it would have taken had it gone to market, to sell. Of course, things like the SNES Mini Classic get hacked and reverse engineered. And of course, the ROM being on there, well, they took the ROM and they put it onto an OEM cartridge. And that's how I'm playing it here. So this version of Starfox 2 is what may be quite rightly considered the retail version of Starfox 2. Preloaded onto, I'm not sure what the cartridge was in life. It might have been one of the Donkey Kong Country games. It might have even been the original Starfox, but it contains a Super FX chip, and it's running, as you can see, Star Fox 2 quite nicely. Now, of course, I have played this game previously on the SNES Mini Classic, but I wanted to have it for real. I wanted to play the game as it was intended on the actual game hardware, and take its rightful place in my collection. Star Fox, of course, being one of my favourite game series of all time. I've played all of them. I would say after the original Star Fox, I have to say that, well, this game is going to be taking, I think, one of these two spots, but I haven't played it enough to warrant that yet. But after the original Star Fox 64, and I would count the remake, of course, on the 3DS as the same game. And then, of course, you had Star Fox Assault on the GameCube, which would be my sort of third choice. I never cared for Star Fox Adventures. I just thought it was a really off-brand game, and I can understand why Rare basically sold themselves and were bought by Microsoft, but they didn't put up a fight when they were purchased by Microsoft to get as far away from Nintendo and the mad genius of Shigeru Miyamoto, for better or worse. But I digress. The only Star Fox game I haven't played, no, strike that, there are two Star Fox games I haven't played. So that would be Star Fox Assault on the DS, which is what I need to get for my collection. And of course Star Fox Zero on the Wii U. And a game I have played it, I don't own it. I really wanted to love that game. I really did. But they just really tried to cram the motion control gimmick into the game so hard. And it made it very hard for me to love it, because it wasn't an optional thing. But, you know, it's a shame, really. I do hope that they will make a new Star Fox game. I must admit, Starlink on the Switch looked like a fantastic Star Fox game. Although I wasn't interested in doing a toy-based shooter, even though it does. Well, it's been quite highly rated. It's been quite good, but I'm not interested in doing that per se. But yeah, this game on the other hand, Star Fox 2, this is a game I can really sink my teeth into. So I've talked over quite a lot of the gameplay here, because it's a very fast-paced game. So the basic premise of Star Fox 2 is that you choose two pilots from the expanded Star Fox team. So as well as the original roster of Fox McCloud, Falco Lombardi, Peppy Hare, and Slippy Toad, you have Miyu and Faye. I don't know their full names, they're just called Miyu and Faye. And each of the pilots has different stats, different handling. So Fox and Falco both fly the traditional R-Wing type. I can't remember whether they have any major differences between them. I think they do have some differences between them, even though they fly the same craft. Both Slippy and Peppy fly the armoured R-Wing, and then Miyu and Faye fly the light R-Wing. Now, these R-Wings are more advanced than the ones that we saw in the original Star Fox. This is actually for the... I wouldn't say for the... Actually, yeah, technically it is for the first time. A chronological sequel to a Star Fox game rather than a soft reboot. So the R-Wings are more advanced, and they can transform into this walking tank mode. So if we assume that the Landmaster was a more archaic solution to land warfare, the natural idea of a R-Wing being able to transform into a walking tank, I think is quite cool. This is one of the ideas I did actually bring into Star Fox Zero on the Wii U. It's one of the game's few saving graces, but not enough to save it in my opinion. I do of course miss the Landmaster, and you know, I do think there's maybe room for both in Star Fox, so the transformable walking R-Wing and the Landmaster tank, and who knows, when Nintendo do get eventually around to making another entry into the Star Fox franchise, hopefully we'll see the Landmaster and the transforming army side by side. So, the premise of the game, after you've chosen your pilots with their different armament types, is to patrol the Lilat system and intercept attacks sent by Andros. So, unlike the original Starfox game, where the routes were basically pre-planned, in this Starfox game, you actually get a very different experience with each playthrough. So, when threats appear on the map, you have to intercept them. Of course, that takes time to get to them. So here we are on the map screen, and you can see there are flashing planets, which are enemy bases, and then there are contacts on the map. And as I move my R-wings to intercept, the enemy contacts move with me. So the idea is to fight actual shorter battles, like interception engagements. So here, I've got to destroy these target fighters. And then I can progress back to the map screen and try to engage more of the enemy bases. So battles are much shorter in this game, far more furious and far more frequent. But once you have defeated one of these targets on the map, the real goal towards completing the game is to go in and engage the enemy bases and destroy those, and that will unlock the path to the final boss, which is of course Andros, the big villain in Starfox. So you'll notice here that some elements of the R-Wing's laser in Starfox 2 became a standard, being showcased in Starfox 64. So if you've watched my first video in my retro game series, or you've played Starfox 64, then you'll know that the R-Wing features a charging laser attack, which is more powerful, than your standard lasers. And that actually debuted in this game. It can't lock on. It doesn't have the lock-on feature, which the Starfox 64 charge laser had, but it's still a very powerful missile attack, and I find it. In this game, I'd say that without an analog stick, its controls are a bit janky. I mean, you get used to it. I find it very hard to aim and lay on my target, so you'll find me just literally firing my lasers wildly in the vague direction of my target to try and bring them down. I think with practice, you'll get used to playing a 3D game with a D-pad, but this is definitely a game which would benefit from an analog stick. And of course, the Super Nintendo never officially had one, because 3D games were in their infancy. This would have been groundbreaking had it have been released in 1996 when it was planned, with a year and a half to go until the launch of the Nintendo 64, which of course had an analog stick proprietary to its console design. And in fact, the launch game for the Nintendo 64, Mario 64, was reliant on the analog stick. So, yeah, as I've been talking here, you've seen several engagements could take place, where I've been shooting down enemy fighters. Now here, I'm approaching one of the attack carriers, so you have to fly through like a vanguard of enemy fighters, and then you attack the main carrier itself. It's like landing on a base and changing into the walking tank mode of the R-Wing. So yeah, just shoot and blast my way through the enemies here, so I can get to the attack carrier. You'll notice also that the famous barrel roll, of course it's not a barrel roll, it's an aileron roll, but we'll honour Peppy Hare on this occasion and call it what he called it. Just like in the original Starfox and Starfox 64, if you time a barrel roll correctly, you will become temporarily immune to enemy fire. In Starfox 64, that ability was coupled with a reflection attack, so you could actually reflect enemy shots back on targets if you were lucky in how you aimed it. It's not saying it's something you could do deliberately unless you were ridiculously good at this game. You'll also notice that you can transform freely between the R-Wing and the walking tank. So that's done using the select button on the controller. It's actually really accessible. And whilst you're in your walking tank mode, you use the shoulder buttons L and R to lay your gun on the target. The elevation of your gun is automatic, so your reticule will actually home in on the nearest valid target. So you only have to worry about using L and R to rotate yourself on the spot. And you can jump as well, so using the Y button means that you can jump on the spot, and double tapping Y will give you a temporary speed boost. And according to the manual, which Nintendo recently Nintendo put up the finished manual for Starfox 2 on the Japanese website. Apparently the walking tank can swim as well. Never seen it do that, and never seen a circumstance where it would need to swim, but apparently that's something that you can do. And you'll notice occasionally I'm using these special items as well. The one I picked up is a shield healing weapon. It's a shield healing utility. And that's deployable using the X button on the controller. So where are we going to next? I think I decided to go after this attack carrier. That satellite I'm just passing there will periodically charge up and destroy incoming targets. Now, you'll notice that I've got the damage counter for Corneria. That's one way to lose the game. So, if you don't successfully defend Corneria, that means that the game is over for you. So as soon as Corneria reaches 100% damage, it's game over. So you really have to be very good at timing your interceptions and stopping anything from getting through. And that defense satellite only helps so far. So it won't constantly intercept targets. So you saw there I used one of the shield healing items, and I'm playing the game on hard mode here, so you'll see that I do take a lot of damage from enemy hits, and it's so fast and frantic. I mean, you have to play the game to realise just how frantic it is. You can take a lot of damage in a very short space of time. Now, I don't think I've used Peppy yet in this playthrough, but when I switch to Peppy's Armoured R-Wing, you'll see it has more shields than Fox's prototype or standard R-Wing. So there is a definite advantage to choosing Peppy if you want to be able to take more hits. But I don't think Peppy can move as fast, or can go as fast. There's a medal there. So one of the game's collectibles. Like many games of its era, there is a high score at the end, and it's something which I will attempt to always score high in. Of course, just like the original Starfox, it comes with a grading as well. So in the original Starfox, it was percentile, and this one, it is a letter grading. I believe it's D to A. I played through this game on easy earlier, just to kind of get the feel of it back, and managed a C rating, which I'm quite happy with. Now, in this playthrough, I don't complete the game, simply because right now in the UK it's extremely hot. And how I normally record these videos is actually with live commentary. I'm actually narrating this after the fact, so I haven't got to wear my headphones when I'm doing it. That's also why I'm not appearing on the camera, because I am melting. But I will, of course, do a full playthrough of Starfox 2 with live commentary when it's more comfortable to do so. So that's another base down. I think that's an attack carrier on this occasion. Down it goes. Big explosion, loop-de-loop. Nice. And away we go. Okay, so we've taken down both attack carriers. Now, what we've got left, we have the Well, that's a virus. When those reach the defense satellite, they'll take it over, and they'll turn it against me, which is not good. So I'm going to intercept the virus there and try and destroy it. Okay. Now, these things are crafty. They move very, very quickly. There's one down. I think I get two of them. But another one, yeah, they move out of range. When you're in all-range mode, in Starfox 2, enemies can outrun you. So it's very important to constantly be using your booster, which on the space maps is with the Y button in the R wing, to accelerate after your targets and give chase. And of course you can use the A button as well to fire the retros and decelerate. Yeah, not much work to do there to recover the satellite, and that's very important to keep that in working order. Okay, so we have a planetary missile coming in, which I'm going to intercept that. There we go. Okay, so we've got a quartet of missiles there. Now, these pesky things, I find one of my greatest criticisms of Starfox 2 are the number of these shoot down the enemy missile type missions. I know it's all about the protecting the planet mechanic of the story, but there's quite a few of these, and I find shooting down these missiles, it's not so much it's challenging, it's just a chore. You line up on the missile and you pump your laser into it until the missile goes away. So there's not much more to it than that. Just keep on using my booster to keep up with the missile, and then just chiseling away with my laser until it's gone. And of course, on the top right-hand side of the screen there, you can see the radar, which is absolutely vital. Basically, this entire game is in all-range mode. So in Starfox 64, it travels between being a rail shooter in the same style as the original Starfox, with the all-range method of fighting that you see in Starfox 2. But Starfox 2, to my knowledge, doesn't have any on-rail sections. Everything is all-range. Okay, so Andros is getting pierced, and he's launching missiles at us. So I'm going to go into intercept over here. There we go. So, I don't actually recall seeing one of these before, but it follows the strong and proud Starfox tradition of shoot the glowbits. So, I'm going to fly in and take out what I can, get a bit of distance. That's it. Coming about, and then plowing into it with my lasers. It's very hard to keep the lasers trained on that thing, so I'm just going to keep firing in the stream until they pass through. Jump the asteroid there. Target destroyed. Okay. So, with the missile down, I think I go for the other missile, just up to the north there. To the northwest. Now. There we go. So we've got a couple of big missiles this time, and it just means that they take more punishment, take longer to destroy. Now that is crucial, so when you are doing these missions, timing is critical, because the enemies on the map continue to move towards Corneria whilst you're fighting your missions, and that's why you'll notice that after each of these battles, it shows me the time it took for me to complete it. So you really have to learn to be efficient in doing this. Not only to make sure that nothing gets through to Corneria, but also, at the end of the game, getting a high score. So you get more points the less time that you've taken to complete the game. Now we have a Star Wolf member coming in. You saw me fight, I think it was Pigma earlier. I'm fighting... Who am I fighting? I think I'm fighting Algae this time. Oh, no, fighting Pigma now. Getting ahead of myself. So, Pigma, of course, in the real world, appeared first in Starfox 64 as a rogue former member of the Starfox team who betrayed James McCloud and Peppy, and left Peppy to die, whilst James McCloud was captured by Andros. Of course, Peppy makes it back to Corneria to warn Fox about what's happened to his father, and Pigma gets inducted into the Starwolf team. But little did we know that Pigma was slated to appear in Starfox 2. He's pretty much the same character. He doesn't have the backstory in this one, so in Starfox 2 he is just a member of Starwolf. And yeah, he's an absolute pain. So fighting Starwolf, they are far more aggressive in this game, far more aggressive than they are in Starfox 64. They maneuver, they barrel roll to deflect your shots, so even if you are laying your guns correctly, deflecting them onto the target, they can avoid fire the same way you can. And yeah, they will use charge shots of their own. And if you don't barrel roll, right there, if you don't barrel roll at the right time, they will hit you for a huge chunk of your health. So you have to really pay attention to what's going on around you. But getting good deflecting those laser shots into a Starwolf member is really the key here, because they're less vulnerable. Sorry, beg your pardon. They're more vulnerable when they're maneuvering away from you. When they're charging towards you, firing their lasers, they're easier to hit, but they tend to barrel roll more. So they don't take hardly any damage from your fire, including your charged laser shots. The more you play it, the better you'll get at defeating the members of Starwolf. Because they are very challenging, I find. Well, that's Pigma down. So Algae is the member of Starwolf who appears in this game, who basically takes Andrew Oikone's place. So Andrew Oikone first appeared in Starfox 64. So we're flying the Venom here. Venom is not the final destination in this game. It's one of the planets we have to visit on the way to our final target. There he is. There's Algae, flying his wolf and looking very close to how they looked in Starfox 64. So another Starwolf encounter. You'll notice also that the damage I take in each mission is persistent. So as well as collecting repair items, which are much rarer in this game, the only way to heal your R-Wing is to return to the mothership, which is not called Grey Fox in this game, it's just simply called the mothership. To continue without losing your pilot, you would need to swap out in between missions with your co-pilot. So I'm playing as Fox McCloud right now, but if Fox McCloud is killed, well, that's it. He's dead. He doesn't go back to the mothership to repair, he's gone. And you can't use him for the rest of the game. So you have to swap out wisely in between your two characters and plan where the mothership's going to park, so you can return to it to repair when you need to. So in this fight, I'm trying to use my charged blaster more, with some success. This is where I'm just practicing that reticule placement. It feels very loose. Fighting a constant battle against the camera as well. Again, not in a way which I think detracts too much from the game. It's certainly bearable. See that Algae here is doing a number on me. I'm down to my last two shields, well, a shield and a half. Trying to get one charge shot place on him. I think I end up just biting the bullet and just trying to hit him with constant laser fire, because my charge shots were not landing on target at all. Yeah, so I'm about one more hit here and I'm going to blow up. So I just resort to pounding him with my laser and hoping for the best. And as you can see, it works. So I think I catch him on this pass here. One last laser shot. A couple of good barrel rolls, though. This pass will be the next pass. But I do find these dogfights really thrilling in this game. It definitely feels a lot more challenging than Star Fox 64 and a hell of a lot more rewarding as well. And there we have it. So I'm just about to finish this playthrough now, so about halfway through the game on hard mode, and Andros gets, again, pretty annoyed with you. So he puts a few more things out. So 2 more attack carriers appear, and he launches a whole new wave of fighters. So I'll leave it here for this half of the video, and we'll catch up in the next one. Thanks for watching.